Miss Cha here of Team Miss Cha. This session I call it Grammar 101. We will talk about subject-verb agreement and the articles. Why I would like to share this? Because a lot of the professionals that I am trying to coach and mentor really needs to touch base or really need to get back and review with grammar. Let's start. Rule number 1. A verb agrees with its subject in number. Let me give you a sample. So as you can see there, our subjects, they are in red. So the boy, no S, likes, the verb has an S, chocolate. The boy likes chocolate. The dancers, with S, look. The verb has no S, gorgeous. Why is that? A verb that has an S is a singular verb. A verb that doesn't have an S is a plural verb. The subject here, the boy, is singular. Thus, it should take a verb that is singular, which is with S. That can be confusing to most of us who have 2 to 3 systems. What is 2 to 3 systems? That means we have more than one language, 2 languages, or if you're multilingual, bilingual or multilingual, it can be confusing. To some of the kids, it can be confusing. So what do we have to remember? I'd like to give you a takeaway. Opposites attract. Meaning, if the subject has no S or if the subject is singular, the verb must have an S because opposite attracts. Okay, just as the sample is trying to portray here. That's rule number 1. Let's have rule number 2. The number of the subject, either singular or plural, is not changed by words that come between the subject and the verb. Okay, so we have a sample here. One of the players is my cousin. One is our subject. Of the players, okay, this is a prepositional phrase. And we have to omit it mentally, or we can try to omit it mentally to see and check if our subject agrees with our verb. When words like each are the subject, so we call them indefinite pronouns, typically they take singular verbs when used as subjects, okay, such as each, either, neither, another, anyone, anybody, anything, someone, somebody, something, one, everyone, everybody, everything, no one, nobody, nothing. Take singular verbs. So do not be confused by prepositional phrases which come between a subject and its verb. They, again, do not change the number of the subject. So rule number 3. Some subjects always take a singular verb even though the meaning may seem plural. Okay, for example, neither likes the friends of the other. Another example, everyone in the fraternity has his own set of prejudices. Except, again, for the pronoun few, many, several, both, all, some, that always take the plural form. Sometimes, depending on how they are used in the sentence. Let's check the next. Few were left alive after the flood. Few were left alive after the flood. The following words may be singular or plural depending upon their use in a sentence. Some, any, all, most. Most of the news is good. Singular. Most of the flowers were yellow. Plural. Why is that? News here is singular. Most and of the flowers, so we look at the object, were yellow. All of the pizza was gone. Why? Because we're referring to the whole pizza. So it is singular. All of the children were late. So again, depending on how they are used. So in these sentences, the object of the preposition determines the form of the verb. So these are our object: news, flowers, pizza, children. Again, the preposition here, the object of the preposition here, determines the form of the verb. The only time when the object of the preposition factors into the decision of plural or singular verb forms is when noun or pronoun subjects like some, half, none, more, all are followed by a prepositional phrase. I'll show you a sample here with both, looking at different usage. All of the chicken is gone. That's whole chicken. All of the chickens are gone. So that's a lot of chickens. They are gone. It's not just one whole chicken. Let's have rule number 5. Subjects joined by and are plural. Subjects joined by or nor take a verb that agrees with the last subject. Either the man or his wife knows the truth of the matter. Okay, again, let's go back to rule number 5. If it's a subject joined by or, it should agree to the last subject. So either the man or his wife, the last subject is his wife. So it should agree with the last subject. Singular, so the verb, remember, opposites attract. So with S for the verb. Automatically, if it's an and here, it is going to be plural already. But because if it is an or, then we look at the last subject. We don't look at the man here. We look at his wife. Next, neither the television nor the radios work. Again, it's or nor. We look at the last subject. Last subject is the radios. Thus, we again look back to rule number 1, opposites attract. So with S, no S. Or it is plural here, so our verb form should be in plural, which should not have an S. Okay, it's easy. With an and, we know it's plural all the time if subjects are joined by and. Bob and George are leaving. But if we would say neither Bob nor George is leaving, so we consider George only as the subject because we consider the last subject if it is joined by or nor. But here, neither Bob nor his friends are leaving. So it changed because our subject here, the last subject, is in plural form. So of course, our verb should be also in plural form. Again, note, another takeaway. Verb agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. Rule number 6. There and here are never subjects. In sentences that begin with these words, the subject is usually found later on in the sentence. There are 4 hurdles to jump. There is a high hurdle to jump. Our subject is found at a later part. So there is not a subject. Okay? So the subject here is found at a later part in each sentence. So the verb will also change here depending on our subject, found at a later part. Okay? The true subject follows the verb only in rule number 6 if we have there and here, especially having them in the beginning of our sentence. So remember, if it's there and here, they are not subjects. If they are in the beginning, the real subject is the one following the verb. R, the first R, agrees to the number 4 hurdles, and is agrees with our subject here, hurdle. Now rule number 7, collective nouns may be singular or plural depending on their use in the sentence. What's a collective noun? A collective noun is a noun used to name a whole group. The following are some of the common samples: army, crowd, orchestra, flock, public, class, group, club, herd, team, committee, jury, troop. Now, I would like to ask you questions. The group is deciding how they want to present. Is this correct? The group is deciding how they want to present. Is that correct? Try to answer me. On your end, think of what's going to be the answer before I proceed. Okay, so what is your answer? The group are deciding how they want to present, or the group members are deciding how they want to present. So if we would say the group are deciding how they want to present, that means that the group members are deciding how they want to present. But if we would say the group is deciding how they want to present, can that be considered correct? Of course, referring to them as a group. Expressions of time, money, measurement, and weight are usually singular when the amount is considered 1 unit. On occasion, however, these terms are used in the plural sense. Example, $10 is a high price to pay. But why should we say $10 were scattered on the floor? It is because we are referring to the dollar bills. On occasion, though, these terms are used in plural sense. Okay, as our takeaway, note, use a singular verb with distances, periods of time, sums of money, especially when considered as a unit. Rule number 9. Some nouns, while plural in form, are actually singular in meaning. I think most of you are familiar. Mathematics is not an easy subject for some people. Okay, and these are samples of, they look like plural, but they are actually singular. So thesis, you can change that into an E here, S-E-S, T-H-E-S-E-S for its plural form. But if the spelling is T-H-E-S-I-S, that is singular. These are our sample nouns that they look plural in form, but actually they are singular in meaning. Don't and doesn't must agree with the subject. Use doesn't after he, she, it. He doesn't speak very well. So what is the answer? You can try to answer me if you can guess. The answer is he doesn't speak very well. They don't speak very well. Why do we have a base form here? So it will not change. We always have to have the base form of the verb. Note, do, does, did. Always use the base form of the verb. So no speaks, not even spoke. Okay? Rule number 11. Sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by such words as long as well as, along with, besides, not, in a parenthesis. Example, the politician, and then we have an intervening phrase, along with the newsman, is expected shortly. Excitement as well as nervousness is the cause of her shaking. So our subject here, in the first sample, we have the politician. But it is separated from its verb by a phrase. This one is not included in your subject. The politician is your subject. Peter and his girlfriend was late. Why is that? Earlier we said that if it is a sentence or if it is a subject joined by and, it should take plural verb. But in rule number 11, if the other subject is in a parenthesis, our real subject is the one outside the parenthesis. So Peter is the only subject. We don't consider the one in the parenthesis. Okay, so remember, these are appositives and they are not part of the subject. Rule number 12. When gerunds are used as the subject of a sentence, they take the singular verb. But when they are linked by and, they take the plural form. So what are gerunds? Do you still remember? Those are verbs with ing form and used as a subject. Example, standing in the water was a bad idea. But if they are joined by and, so there are two gerunds joined by and, swimming in the ocean and playing drums are my hobbies. We have two gerunds joined by and, so we have two subjects here. Rule number 13. Titles of the book, movies, novels, etc. They are treated as singular and take a singular verb. Okay? Even though they are joined by and in the title, like Pride and Prejudice, it's a single subject, that singular subject. Pride and Prejudice was written by Jane Austen. Okay, that ends our subject-verb agreement. Now we will have our Grammar 101 on articles. So, the articles and its usage. Okay. Using articles a, an, the, or no articles, which of which is indefinite, which of which is definite. Let's learn the articles. An indefinite article, a, an. It is used to modify non-specific or non-particular nouns. A and an signal that the noun modified is indefinite, referring to any member of a group. So there is none in particular. For example, my dad is looking for a book. Any book. There is no book in particular. Somebody call a policeman. This refers to any policeman. We don't need a specific policeman. We need anybody available. Okay. Remember, using a or un depends on the sound that begins the next word. A plus singular noun beginning with a consonant. A boy, a car, a bike, a zoo, a dog. So the sound is consonant sound, like a boy, an, singular noun, and we use it with vowels. So the sound of a vowel sound, like an elephant, an egg, an apple, an umbrella. But if, for example, we have an hour, although it starts with an H, which is consonant, but the sound it begins with a vowel sound. That's why we are going to write an hour, not using a for this particular sample. Another example. So let's try. University, user, European. A plus singular noun beginning with a consonant sound begins with a consonant Y or Y sound. So a is used for a user. And also a will be used for a university because the beginning sound is a consonant sound, the Y sound. Okay? I hope you get that. Now you can do this. Is he blank? A, an, MB. Rules applies when acronym starts with consonant letters but have vowel sounds. So MB is an abbreviation of Bachelor of Medicine. I hope you were able to answer. Let's answer it now. So the answer is an, MB. An because the sound of a consonant letter M, because we are going to say M as an abbreviation, and the beginning sound is an S sound, MB. So it's a vowel sound. That's why we are going to use un, MB. Now let's have the definite article, the. The definite article is used before singular or plural nouns when the noun is specific or particular. Thus, we call it the definite article. The signals that the noun is definite, that it refers to a very particular thing or a particular member of a group. The apple on the table was gone. I'm not referring to any other apples. I'm referring to the one on the table. Let's have count and non-count nouns. The can be used with non-count nouns or abstract, or the article can be omitted entirely. Example, I love to sail over the water. But you could say, or some would say, body of water. I love to sail over water, any water. So for example here, I love to sail over the water. This means a specific body of water. But if I would say, I love to sail over water, it refers to any water. He spilled the milk all over the floor. This is talking about specific milk, perhaps the milk that you bought earlier that day, okay? Or you could say, he spilled milk all over the floor. It can be any milk. There's none in particular. A and an can be used only with count nouns. I need a bottle of water. I need a new glass of milk. So you need a quantifier. Bottle, a glass, a bottle, a cup. We cannot use it without a quantifier. But can you say the bottle of water? What do you think? Yes, of course, you can say a bottle of water or the bottle of water. A bottle of water refers to any other water. I need a bottle of water, any bottle of water. But if you would say, I need the bottle of water. No, I mean the one in my bag. So I have the bottle of water there. So it's definite, it's specific. Let's have the geographical use of the. Do not use the before names of most countries or territories like Italy, Mexico, Bolivia. However, you would say the Netherlands, the Dominican Republic, the Philippines, the United States. Names of cities, towns, or states, you don't use it. Names of streets, you don't use it. Names of lakes and bays, you don't use it. But if it's group of lakes, you use the, like the Great Lakes. Names of mountains, you don't use that. Mount Everest, Mount Fuji, except with ranges of mountains. Names of continents, you don't use articles. Names of islands, you don't use the articles, except with island chains. Omission of articles. When can we omit? We omit the articles if we're referring to names of languages and nationalities, unless if you are referring to the population of the nation. So if it is language or nationality, we do not use articles. Chinese, English, Spanish, Russian, Filipino. Unless you are referring to the population. The Spanish are known for their warm hospitality, which means the Spanish refers to its population, not the language. Names of sports, we don't use the article, we omit the articles. Names of academic subjects, we do not use the articles. Yay! That ends our Grammar 101 session. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Okay, it's time to practice. Let us see and test what you have learned in this video. So I have questions here. Just pause on your end once you have the questions, answer, and then just play it again to see the answers, because I have also prepared the answers here. So let's begin. So we have question number 1. They usually spend their holidays in blank mountains. The, no article, a. Number 2, Los Angeles has blank ideal climate. No article, an or the. Number 3, this is blank best Mexican restaurant in the country. No article, a or the. Please choose the correct and the most natural sounding. Please choose the correct response to complete each sentence. Number 1, they usually spend their holidays in the, no article, a, mountains. Number 2, Los Angeles has no article, an, the ideal climate. Number 3, this is no article, a, the best Mexican restaurant in the country. I will now reveal the answers. So number 1, they usually spend their holidays in the mountains. Number 2, Los Angeles has an ideal climate. This is the best Mexican restaurant in the country. Okay, direction. State the correct verb. Number 1, the weather on the coast appears to be good this weekend. Number 2, the man with the roses looks like your brother. The women in the pool swims well. Bill drives a cab. Number 5, either the cups or the glasses in the dishwasher. I'll give you some time to answer 1 to 5. Okay, I will now reveal the answers. Number 1, appears. Number 2, looks. Number 3, swim. Number 4, drives. Number 5, are. 6 to 10, some members of the faculty are present. Number 7, nobody in the class have the answer. Number 8, each of the girls observes all the regulations. Number 9, All of the milk is, are, gone. Number 10, most of the seats was, were taken. I'll give you some time to answer that. Okay, I will now reveal the answers. You may pause if you are not done. The answers to number 6 are 7, has. Okay. The answers are the following. Number 6, are. Number 7, has. Number 8, observes. Number 9, are. Number 10, were. Good job, everybody.